I've been noticing something lately that I never would have admitted a few years ago. I've been addicted to suffering for most of my life. Not because I love pain, like some type of masochist or some wounded old soul, but it's just that suffering is where I have found most meaning. Suffering is where I have felt justified. And for all of my 20s, looking back, suffering is where I found most of my identity. Or at least it's the identity that I trusted the most. It made me feel important. It made creative work feel legitimate. It made chaos make sense. And honestly, it just made me feel safe. Not in a dramatic way, but just in a familiar way. And I think that when your nervous system learns that struggle equals identity, right? Even peace starts to feel suspicious. Progress can feel fake. Feeling joy can just feel like a setup, like when's the other shoe gonna drop? When is the joke gonna stop being funny? And this is what I've been really unpacking in the last week or two, especially in last week's episode, Why We Romanticize Suffering. And it's been hard for me to admit because as I peel the layers back of why I was trapped in overthinking for so long, I'm finding that the layers beneath overthinking and procrastination are are much deeper and they get their claws in you, and it's kind of the root system of your identity. And a huge part of that I'm finding, and a huge part I'm seeing in other people that I'm helping, is that there is this familiar addiction to suffering, mainly because it is the righteous justification of being alive and feeling this much. That suffering is so easy to grab a hold of because it's proof of concept, it's proof that you're here, it's proof that you know the truth. But here's the truth I'm really coming to terms with: suffering isn't seductive because you're somehow broken and you somehow prefer this sort of cesspool of fragmentation. Suffering is seductive because it's predictable. It's a pattern your brain knows how to run. And it's sort of a costume that we wear for so long that when peace or joy or functionality and order comes along, it just feels suspicious. And when you start to outgrow that identity, when you start reaching for cleaner fuel, when you stop negotiating with yourself and start living inside of a system that actually and sustainably helps you dismantle the identity of the overthinker and of the sufferer, that romanticizing of suffering is going to flare up really strong. And it's going to be strongest when you're actually having those moments of seeing that familiar underdog identity for what it is. And when you really, really, really start peeling the onion back and seeing how much you continue to self sabotage, not because you want to just fuck everything up and want to destroy everything, but because there is actual safety in chaos, and there is safety and identity inside of that suffering that you're just so used to. And that's what's been happening to me lately. These micro, subtle, little ways that this romanticizing of my old suffering is flaring up. The question is, who am I? Who am I without that drama? Who am I when I unplug from the noise? Who am I when I actually realize that for most of my life I have fueled myself off of shame? Ultimately, turning suffering into a personality is a trap. It feels deep, it feels creative, it feels honest, it feels like you're mirroring back the state that the world is in, but most of the time, it's just a familiar loop that's trying to stay relevant. And the moment you stop worshiping it, you get access to a whole new identity that doesn't need pain to justify itself. And that's what breaks overthinking. That's what gives you something to go off that's actually sustainable and that's actually you, not this house of cards that you've been propping yourself up on for so long. Propping yourself up. Or propping yourself up. I want to keep this one short, so that's it. But if you haven't seen the deep dive on why we romanticize suffering, check it out right here. As always, my friend, I believe in you, not because we're fellow sufferers, but because of the thing that comes after it. I'll see you guys soon.